What do we got?
I think we've opened up a wooden Pandora's box here. I mean, look at all these timbers. All different sizes and shapes.
I think we might have hit a collapsed tunnel. Some sort of linear feature of wood that got disturbed.
For more than 2 centuries, Oak Island has remained one of the world's greatest unsolved treasure mysteries. Countless expeditions have searched its hidden depths. Millions of dollars have been spent. And generations of treasure hunters have left, believing the island was guarding a secret too extraordinary to uncover. But now, everything may be about to change. A series of advanced ground-penetrating scans, deep boreholes, core samples, and high-resolution underground mapping have revealed anomalies unlike anything investigators have seen before. Hidden stone formations, ancient wooden timbers, metallic traces, and massive underground voids discovered in separate locations appear to align in a single mysterious pattern. For the first time, many researchers believe these clues could all be pointing toward one enormous underground structure, one that some estimate may contain a treasure vault worth more than $350 million. Inside the Oak Island War Room, geologists, engineers, and archaeologists are re-examining every scan, every sample, and every piece of evidence. If this theory proves to be correct, it could rewrite nearly 230 years of history and finally solve the world's most famous treasure mystery. But is there really a hidden vault buried beneath Oak Island? Or are these discoveries leading everyone toward another incredible illusion? Stay with us as we examine the latest scientific investigations, the strongest evidence ever uncovered, and the discoveries that have reignited one of history's greatest mysteries. Before we begin, if you enjoy documentaries about hidden treasures, ancient mysteries, and groundbreaking discoveries, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest investigations. Now, let's uncover what may be the biggest discovery in Oak Island history. Over the last few months, Oak Island has once again become the center of global attention. For nearly 230 years, explorers have searched its underground secrets, drilling thousands of boreholes and investing millions of dollars in the hope of uncovering the truth. Yet, despite decades of effort, no discovery has generated as much excitement as the evidence emerging today. It all began when a new generation of underground scanning equipment detected several unusual anomalies beneath the island. Instead of appearing randomly, the same mysterious signals kept showing up in multiple surveys. At first, specialists assumed they were simply the result of natural geological formations. But as more data was collected, that explanation became increasingly difficult to defend. To investigate further, the team drilled a series of deep boreholes and recovered core samples from different underground layers. What they found immediately caught everyone's attention. Some samples contained unusual stone formations, while others revealed fragments of aged timber buried deep below the surface. Even more intriguing were several locations that produced metallic signatures, unlike those normally associated with natural mineral deposits. When all of these findings were combined with newly created digital underground maps, an unexpected pattern began to emerge. Features discovered in completely different locations appeared to connect with one another, suggesting they could belong to the same hidden structure. Inside the Oak Island War Room, geologists, archaeologists, and engineers spent countless hours comparing every scan, sample, and measurement. Many believed that if these matching clues were truly connected, the island could be hiding its greatest secret yet. This was the moment when discussions surrounding a possible $350 million treasure vault started to gain serious momentum. Although no one was prepared to declare the mystery solved, one thing had become obvious. The latest investigation was unlike any that had come before. The biggest question soon became impossible to ignore. What exactly was buried beneath the legendary money pit? And why did the newest evidence make researchers more confident than ever? The latest scans repeatedly identified a large underground void in the same location. What made the discovery remarkable was that different instruments, operated on different days, all detected the same empty space at nearly identical depths. To many experts, this suggested that the anomaly was unlikely to be a naturally formed cavity. As drilling continued, researchers encountered distinct stone boundaries that appeared surprisingly organized. Several specialists argued that these formations looked less like random bedrock and more like the remains of a carefully constructed layout. Core samples added another layer to the mystery by revealing pieces of ancient timber, If these wooden fragments were truly part of an old underground structure, they could point to the existence of a large human-made chamber hidden beneath the island. The metallic readings generated even greater debate. Multiple boreholes detected unusual metal signatures that scientists believed deserved detailed laboratory analysis. Once the scan results, drilling records, timber evidence, and metallic data were merged into a single digital model, the evidence became even more compelling. Independent datasets that had been collected separately began matching with remarkable consistency. Each new result strengthened the previous one. Confidence inside the war room continued to grow as researchers realized that so many interconnected findings were unlikely to be explained by coincidence alone. While definitive scientific proof had not yet been reached, many investigators believed they were closer than ever to confirming the existence of a massive human-made chamber beneath the money pit. Perhaps the greatest breakthrough was not the excavation itself, but the technology driving it. Unlike earlier expeditions that relied heavily on trial and error, every stage of this investigation was guided by advanced scientific tools and digital analysis. The team first created detailed three-dimensional maps of the underground landscape, allowing every layer, cavity, and geological feature to be examined with exceptional precision. As these models took shape, several previously overlooked zones immediately stood out. Ground-penetrating radar was then used to investigate these areas in greater detail. The scans revealed multiple underground anomalies that appeared connected across different depths. Researchers compared these signals with sophisticated geological models, using computer analysis to separate natural formations from features that might indicate ancient human construction. For the first time, decisions were being driven by evidence rather than speculation. The investigation became even more intriguing when borehole cameras were lowered into the deepest sections of the island. The footage revealed stone formations that looked noticeably different from ordinary geological layers, raising new questions about what might still be concealed beneath Oak Island's surface. The newly captured borehole footage was immediately compared with decades of archived records, underground scans, and drilling data. What surprised the research team most was how often the old evidence matched the latest discoveries. Time after time, the same underground anomalies appeared in the same locations. That was the moment the entire investigation began moving in a completely different direction. Using advanced computer software, researchers combined thousands of separate data points into one detailed underground model. As the information came together, a hidden pattern emerged that had never been recognized before. Many specialists believe that when multiple independent technologies consistently highlighted the same area, it was becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss the findings as mere coincidence. Although scientists were still waiting for final confirmation, one important question now dominated every discussion. Could Oak Island be hiding a massive human-made structure beneath its surface? That possibility quickly became the center of the investigation. The latest ground scans, borehole results, and three-dimensional mapping had revealed several unusual features that reignited the debate. Researchers first examined the remarkably symmetrical layout visible across multiple scans. According to many experts, natural geological formations rarely display such consistent organization. Instead, the underground features appeared to follow a deliberate arrangement. Attention then shifted to the stone formations captured by borehole cameras. Several images revealed unusually straight boundaries that immediately caught the attention of archaeologists. If future excavations continued exposing the same pattern, they believed it could represent the walls of an ancient chamber or a hidden passage buried beneath the island. As a result, the theory of an artificial underground vault suddenly gained renewed momentum. Some researchers proposed that a carefully constructed chamber might have been built beneath the legendary money pit centuries ago. Not everyone shared that conclusion, however. Several experienced geologists argued that nature is capable of producing surprisingly regular formations over millions of years. In their view, symmetry alone was not enough to prove human construction. Archaeologists offered a different perspective. They argued that the evidence should not be viewed individually. When symmetrical layouts, straight stone features, ancient timber fragments, and unusual metallic signatures all appeared together, dismissing everything as natural coincidence became far more difficult. The debate transformed the atmosphere inside the Oak Island War Room. Meetings stretched late into the day as experts carefully re-examined every scan, every laboratory sample, and every new report. No one wanted to make bold claims without undeniable scientific proof. Yet one conclusion was becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. If upcoming laboratory analyses and future excavations continued confirming the same evidence, investigators could be standing on the edge of solving one of history's greatest underground mysteries. As the research progressed, another fascinating possibility began attracting serious attention. A growing number of specialists suggested that Oak Island's secret might extend far beyond a single treasure chamber. Instead, the island could conceal an entire network of underground tunnels. Recent ground scans, borehole information, and digital mapping all seem to strengthen this idea. Rather than indicating one isolated cavity, several anomalies appeared to connect through a series of hidden underground passages. One theory that quickly returned to the spotlight involved Smith's Cove. For decades, researchers have speculated that the flood tunnels and historic structures discovered there could somehow be linked to the money pit. The latest digital mapping appeared to reveal patterns that once again hinted at a possible underground connection between the two locations. While this relationship has not yet been scientifically confirmed, the repeated signals have renewed interest in the theory. At the same time, engineers revisited another long-discussed possibility: the underground water control system. According to this theory, if a valuable treasure vault truly existed beneath Oak Island, its builders may have created a sophisticated flooding mechanism to protect it. Anyone digging from the wrong direction could accidentally trigger water-filled tunnels, making the vault almost impossible to reach. Because of this, researchers are now paying closer attention to the possibility of multiple interconnected passageways beneath the island. During recent war room meetings, experts explained that if these underground routes really join together, Oak Island may contain far more than a single chamber. It could represent a carefully engineered system specifically designed to hide and defend whatever lies below. Although the investigation has not yet reached a final conclusion, each new dataset is forcing researchers to take that possibility more seriously than ever before. That naturally leads to another major question. How convincing is the theory that a $350 million treasure vault may actually exist beneath Oak Island? Was the figure simply an ambitious estimate, or was it supported by evidence strong enough to justify worldwide attention? Researchers explained that the estimate was never based on one discovery alone. Instead, it resulted from combining decades of historical records with modern ground scans, borehole data, core samples, geological analysis, and digital mapping. The investigation began by re-evaluating evidence collected throughout Oak Island's long history. Ancient timber, unusual stone formations, metallic readings, and underground voids documented during previous expeditions were carefully compared with the latest survey results. The comparison produced an unexpected outcome. Many discoveries that had once seemed unrelated now appeared to fit together as parts of the same underground system. Independent clues collected years apart were suddenly supporting one another. Researchers then concentrated on the metallic evidence. Several boreholes detected unusual metal signatures that scientists believed deserved extensive laboratory testing and further investigation. Geological comparisons also revealed striking similarities across multiple locations, strengthening confidence in the overall pattern. According to the research team, when ground-penetrating scans, core samples, metallic anomalies, and geological models all begin pointing toward the same conclusion, the evidence can no longer be dismissed lightly. For that reason, confidence inside the war room continues to grow, even though the final scientific verdict has yet to be delivered. Even with all of the promising evidence, the research team has remained cautious. No one has officially declared that a treasure vault has been discovered. Investigators continue to emphasize that only scientific verification and future excavation can determine whether the theory is correct. Until then, every conclusion remains provisional. Even so, one reality is becoming harder to ignore. If the upcoming laboratory results continue supporting the same pattern, Oak Island could be approaching the most important stage of its nearly 230-year investigation. With that possibility in mind, preparations for the next excavation entered a completely new phase. The team understood that a single mistake at this point could jeopardize years of research, so the operation was planned with greater precision than ever before. modern drilling systems and specialized excavation equipment were brought to the island, allowing every underground layer to be examined with extreme care. This mission was never about digging as fast as possible. Its success depended on preserving every piece of evidence. If a vault valued at $350 million truly existed beneath the island, recovering it without damaging its contents would become one of the greatest archaeological challenges ever attempted. Rick Lagina and the rest of the team organized specialists into dedicated groups. Engineers, geologists, archaeologists, and scientific advisors were each assigned specific responsibilities before work resumed. Before any drilling began, the stability of the ground, underground water pressure, and the surrounding geological conditions were analyzed repeatedly. The team agreed that patience would be far more valuable than speed. Whenever even the slightest indication of carved stone, ancient timber, or metallic material appeared, heavy machinery would immediately stop while experts investigated the discovery by hand. Safety procedures were also strengthened significantly. Each underground layer would be fully documented before excavation continued, ensuring that no clue, no matter how small, was overlooked. Researchers understood that history is often reconstructed from the tiniest fragments. For that reason, preserving evidence became the operation's highest priority. Every recovered sample would be sealed individually and stored under controlled conditions before being transported for laboratory examination. At the same time, the excavation itself would be recorded in extraordinary detail, high-resolution photography, three-dimensional scanning, borehole logs, and the exact depth and location of every discovery would be entered into a comprehensive digital archive. Nothing would be left to memory or chance. As preparations continued, attention from around the world remained fixed on Oak Island. Yet many researchers believed that the most difficult stage of the investigation had not even begun. Once excavation produced new evidence, every important sample would undergo rigorous scientific testing before any public conclusions were made. Inside the war room, one principle guided every decision. No extraordinary claim would be accepted without extraordinary evidence. The first stage involved radiocarbon dating. Wooden fragments recovered during drilling were sent to multiple laboratories to determine their true age. If the timber proved to be centuries old, it could provide powerful support for the theory that an ancient human-built structure lies beneath the island. At the same time, scientists launched detailed examinations of the unusual metallic signatures detected underground. Their goal was to determine whether the material represented naturally occurring mineral deposits or the remains of an engineered construction. Geologists focused on another equally important task. Every stone sample was carefully analyzed for its shape, composition, and position. Researchers wanted to know whether these formations had been created naturally over geological time or intentionally arranged by human hands. Although each new report generated fresh excitement, the investigators refused to rush toward a conclusion. To ensure complete objectivity, major samples were submitted, not only to one laboratory, but also to several independent experts. Comparing results from different scientific teams would help confirm that every finding was accurate and unbiased. This careful verification process soon became the most critical stage of the entire investigation. Now, attention from across the world was focused on one thing: the final laboratory reports. By this stage, the mystery extended far beyond the question of whether treasure existed beneath Oak Island. A far greater question had emerged. If a genuine treasure vault were finally uncovered, how would it change our understanding of history? Many researchers believe such a discovery would represent much more than the recovery of valuables worth $350 million. It could rank among the most significant archaeological discoveries of the modern era, finally providing answers to questions that have remained unanswered for more than 2 centuries. The impact would first be felt within archaeology itself. Researchers from around the world would study the methods, technology, and evidence that finally solved the Oak Island mystery. Historical records, forgotten maps, expedition journals, and centuries-old documents would almost certainly be re-examined with fresh attention. Investigators would attempt to answer the questions that have fascinated generations. Who created the underground complex? When was it built? Who concealed the treasure? And what purpose did it truly serve? The implications would likely extend far beyond Oak Island itself.